One of the things that Dan Mall said in his deep dive that really stuck with me was this idea of treating your design system like a product. Let's say that you're creating a new software startup. The last thing that you're going to do is go into hiding for a full year and build this product that's fully fleshed out with all of the features that you think your users could possibly need. No. You're going to find whatever your MVP looks like, and then you're going to iterate your way to success from there, which is why Dan's advice really resonated with me.
Stop making the foundation. Stop trying to make the perfect library first. That's not what you're making. You are making a product. So if you were to make that product, what would you do? You would, exactly what you just said. You would make a couple of sketches. You'd sketch, right? Whether that's sketching in code or sketching in Figma, and then you would show it to you'd schedule a bunch of conversations, you show it to a bunch of people, you get feedback on it, and then you would iterate. And you would do that a bunch of times until 6 times, and you would go, I think our accordion's ready for prime time. You know, let's get 30 people in here to use it. Not 3,000, not 30,000. Let's get 30 people in here to see if, to kick the tires on this.
The problem is that too many people are looking at systems like Polaris and Material, and they're letting that shape what their output should be. But these are massive systems that have been refined over years. But if you treat your system like a product, then you're not going to build this V1 that is robust and comprehensive. It would be the equivalent of launching a new e-commerce startup and looking at Shopify as the measuring stick for what you have to build to launch. Instead, we need to find that minimum viable system to launch with. And we're going to do it by following a pretty familiar product process. You're going to talk to people, do user interviews, get feedback on early concepts and pattern matching. And maybe we're going to end up launching with something that's pretty small. Maybe it's even one set of buttons. So if you're working on a new system right now, or maybe you see Figma variables and you think that this is the time for a large refactor, instead of asking yourself what your V1 can be, what if you asked yourself what your V0.1 can be? Because I bet you can launch with a lot less and iterate from there. And this product mindset carries into the rest of the design system lifecycle as well, because the best product teams are the ones that are eliminating feature bloat whenever possible. They're often actually deleting code and removing things from the product. And a design system works the same way. Once you get the data and you're seeing how designers actually use these components and you're getting all of this feedback along the way, you can start to identify your highest value components and then only support that. You can actually remove the rest from the system, because what Dan shared is that the best design system teams are not the ones building the biggest, most comprehensive systems. They're the ones that are relentlessly trimming the fat.
I've had the privilege of talking to people who have design systems for like 5 years, right? They've had it at the organization for 5 years. And one of the things that has been surprising to me, but no longer surprising because I've seen it so much, is that what a lot of those teams are doing is they are removing components from their design system, right? They've grown to 300 components or 100 components or whatever it is. And then the next phase of that, after that 18 months, after that 3 years mark, is like, we're going to go down to 50. And I'm like, why are you going down to 50? And they're like, well, because we can support 150, like, okay, with our team of 10, at this point. But we could support 50 components much better, like, at a high level. So what they're doing is they're analyzing what are the highest impact components that we have, and components or patterns or whatever it is that design system has taken on as their charge. What are the highest impact things that we have? And let's support those things fully.